Hello, and welcome to episode 50 of Living Well today. This is a special episode, kind of a milestone 50. I'm Angela Moonen, your host and guide for the next 30 minutes. And today we're talking about something that's vitally important to me, and I think for our world at a time when the world is in such a state of flux, in the midst of so much uncertainty, whether it's the economy, the impending election, the shifts that seemingly are happening all around us, the weather. We're holding on because the hurricane is headed this way. So we're right immediately back into preparation mode. It doesn't feel like it's been that long since the last one. And so it can feel overwhelming, right? There's one powerful thing that, well, there's many, but this one powerful thing that we can hold on to in the midst of uncertainty, and that is grace. So today we're exploring how grace shows up in times of doubt, in times of confusion, certainly in times of great change. We'll talk about finding grace within yourself and what it looks and feels like to give grace to others, and creating moments of grace within your home, within your workplace, within your community, and for the world. When we are leaning into grace, what does that look and feel like? What does it sound like? And what can that mean when everything else feels so unpredictable? Lean into grace. And we'll talk about how to cultivate that mindset and state of being. We'll wrap with an exercise, and we'll wrap it up like a gift with an exercise on how to cultivate more grace in your life. And we'll complete today with a calming meditation to carry grace forward in your life. Grace, what is grace? Grace is, we hear it often as certainly what someone might say before a meal. A girl's name, a woman's name. Beautiful. What is the act of grace? It's often defined as an unearned kindness or favor, something that is just simply offered, is gifted, is given to you to create space for grace, is what I say. But it's much more than that. To me, grace is a state of being, where you allow space for imperfection, both in yourself and others, and in the situation at hand. This is a lifelong journey for me, because I'm very particular about a vision that I have or an expectation. My expectations are very high historically. And I think in some ways it's the two-sided coin, where that is helpful in some respects, but also realizing that balance of flipping the coin and saying it's good just the way it is. It's enough just the way it is. Offering someone the benefit of, not just the benefit of the doubt, but the benefit of your love, the benefit of your patience, the benefit of your understanding and compassion. That's grace. Grace is about letting go of what you can't control and trusting that things will work out as they should. They'll unfold as they should. Grace, just even hear the word grace. Grace. It's a soft word. It's a soft feeling. It allows us to soften when everything else may be hard. Yeah, I like that. It allows us to soften when everything else is hard. So Mother Teresa, I wrote this down. Mother Teresa once said, I cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. So as you're listening today, also feel the softness, feel the loosening within your own being of what grace feels like, giving that to yourself, offering the patience and acceptance and support and love for yourself. What does that feel like? It feels softer right away. It feels more open, easy. And usually on Wednesdays, I also do a word of the week, just a little bit of a word or a phrase, a mantra to help us stay mindful during the week about that particular state of being and feeling. Words are very powerful. So the word grace, I already did a word of the week on grace. I guess I could do another one, because you never, again, like, you step in a river today, you step in that same river tomorrow. You're different and the river is different. Cannot help but be so. So I guess I could do another word of the week on grace, because I would come to it in a different way, on a different level of consciousness. So maybe I'll do that. Start with that. Let's start with grace in ourselves. Cannot extend grace, cannot extend love, cannot extend anything fully in the best and highest way for others unless we are first doing that for ourselves. Put yourself first in line, not last in line. That's grace. Taking care of yourself. Because if you don't give that grace to yourself and that care for yourself, you will only have so long before you'll burn out and won't have it to offer to others. And I do have, by the way, just as a heads up, if you pick up any other ambient noise, StreamYard is actually really great about silencing some of that ambient noise. But if you do, I have beautiful people here in the house today helping me make it perfect. Just like we just talked about. Perfect. But this is actually, this is like kind of, weeds in the garden type of thing. Sometimes weeds are okay and you leave them, but sometimes you want to also keep it organized, because that feeling of organization is really cleansing and opening as well. So they're helping me keep the house organized today. We'll phrase it like that. So if you hear some noises here and there, it could be them. What does grace look like for ourselves? In moments of fear, there's a lot of that going around right now. Stress, that too. Confusion, that too. Grace is taking a deep breath and allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling without judgment, without the immediate need to suppress it, to push it down or push it away, resist it. Just to feel it exactly as you're feeling. Oh yeah, I feel a little scared today. What is that about? Okay. And then when you look at that, give yourself the grace and the understanding to say, okay, well, am I alone in this? No, I never am alone in this. Maybe it means allowing yourself rest when your mind is telling you to keep pushing through. Maybe pull back from that a little bit and create space to just be and to just rest. Forgive yourself for not having all the answers, for not knowing something. We've fostered a culture that, like, there's the authority figures and the authority brands, and we've nurtured that, okay? And so more and more and more education and coaching and Mentors. You have to have mentors. You have to be a part of this executive group and this group and that group. And those things are supportive, but there are two sides to every coin. And the other side of that coin is that it's okay not to know. And it's okay just to be where you are right now. And give yourself grace for not knowing those answers or not pushing through. What would it feel like? I'm just giving it to myself right now as we're going through this. You just let it go. Yeah, just rest. Be easy. That's grace. What does grace feel like in your home? I just got a text message. I just want to make sure because sometimes there's tech and also with the, yeah, okay, we're all good. That's from my hydrogen water company. Hydrogen water. Give it a try. It's really, really good for your cells and your body. In your home, our homes can be a sanctuary, and they should be that sanctuary, that retreat. But they can also be a source of stress and another source of difficulty at times. So grace at home might look like extending compassion to those you live with, compassion and patience to those who help you keep your home looking and feeling the way you want it to be. It can be recognizing that everyone in your home and everyone who comes, whether it's the man who delivers your person who delivers your mail, the folks who help you with your recycling and your garbage, the folks that keep your property tidy, maybe the team that maybe your realtor. Right now I'm going through selling my home. Remembering that they're dealing with their own uncertainties and making room for mistakes, making room for releasing the tension around any moments of tension or potential conflict, making space for laughter and laughing at something that goes wrong in the in-between. Grace, here's really great, and this works at home also. Grace could simply be pausing during a heated moment with a loved one, with a coworker, and asking, let's pause. How can I make this easier for both of us? What would you like to see happen? What can I do to make this easier? Does that feel better than a tug of war? Of course it does. Of course it does. And that's particularly that attitude is vital inside the home, which is a place where you are and should be able to retreat from the chaos of the world. To have chaos at home also is, that's your own tug of war within you. Drop the rope. Drop the rope. What would grace do in this moment? What would grace do? Grace would trust. Grace would forgive. Grace would put a gentle hand on someone's shoulder and reassure them it's going to be okay. Or grace is, when your child just spilled that glass of milk, instead of immediately, oh my gosh, which creates in their nervous system an immediate reaction of tension and fear. Say, maybe knock your glass over too. Or maybe say, honey, it's just milk. That's what cloths are for, and water. We'll clean it up. It's okay. Accidents happen. It's okay. It's okay. That's grace. Work. Work, whether virtual, hybrid, at the office, physically, can sometimes be where tension and uncertainty hit the hardest. Whether it's fear over job security, navigating a change, simply dealing with the everyday stressors of deadlines and coworkers, etc. But grace at work can transform how we interact with our colleagues, how we handle the unknowns. It might look like offering support to someone who's up against a deadline, even when you have work, they're struggling, and you want to help them. It could mean letting go of perfectionism and embracing progress over perfection. That idea of 1%. Can we just be 1% better this week? Over the course of 52 weeks, that's 52% better than you were a year ago. That's important. It's a turtle's pace, this spiritual journey. It's a turtle's pace. Sometimes we feel like we're running the race like the hare, the rabbit. I get that. Things feel very rushed. But that is when you pause for grace and you accept and encourage progress over perfection. Yeah. Grace is remembering that everyone, for where they are, is doing the very best that they can in a world where nothing feels certain. Yeah. Global uncertainty. Yeah. Let's talk first about your community. We've talked about this many times over, but I'll keep saying it because it's so important. As Mother Teresa said, I cast a stone in the waters, across the waters to create many ripples. When you change yourself, you change the world. I know most people think that it's in grand schemes, in grand ways, and grand gestures that the world is changed. It's the 1%. You are the 1%. You and your family members and your neighbors, another 1%, another 1%, leaves on the collective tree. So as you change yourself, you are changing the world. It's quantum. What you are affecting inside your own home is being affected across many homes. So begin with yourself and your home, then your neighborhood, then your community. That changes the world. So it could be lending a hand to a neighbor who's struggling. I know right now, I saw lines in Tampa of cars lined up and people giving out free sandbags. There are people who Americans are really great at rallying. Human beings are great at rallying when they're stacked against very visible odds. But there's an invisible force at work. Invisible, unseen, invisible force at work. And that is stress and fear. And those things are present if you allow them to be. And what do I mean by that? Control what you can control. Those circumstances that occur outside of you are outside of you. But inside, you create from the inside out. It's an inside job. So what you do in here, in your heart, and in your own circumference, is what you can control. And as you do that, as you offer yourself grace, as you offer your immediate family grace, as you offer that stranger at the grocery store today, maybe they're just standing in line for a bottle of water and you say, let me buy that for you, or let me get the door for you. And you lend a hand, or let me help you put your groceries. I don't know how many times. I'm on my own, right? So I'm at times, because I Airbnb my home, etc. I do have larger packages and amounts of groceries that I get. And I couldn't tell you how many young strapping men walk right past me in the parking lot when I have a grocery cart full of bags and never are not awake enough. They're too much on their path to maybe stop and offer a hand. And then yet, the other day I was in a store and there was a gentleman following me all through the store. And I kind of picked up on it and noticed it, but didn't give it a whole lot of attention. And then he magically showed up right behind me in the line as I was checking out. And a security guard, a young man, came over and was standing there. And then I had quite a cart full of stuff. And he said, I'm going to walk you to your car. And I said, thank you. And as we got to the vehicle, and he started helping me unload, load the groceries into the back of the vehicle, he said, I don't know if you noticed. And then he got something on his walkie-talkie, and he said, yes, I'm with a woman right now in the parking lot. And I'm like, what's going on? And he said, well, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a gentleman following you throughout the store. And we picked up on him. And I said, well, I kind of noticed, but I didn't. He said, yeah. And then he moved in closer and closer to you in line. I said, yeah. And then he gets another call on the walkie-talkie, and he says, yeah, well, I'm just finishing with her. I'll be right in. And he finished with me, and he almost finished with me. He said, are you good? I said, I'm good. He said, I have to go back in the store and help them deal with this man. So I don't know what the deal was with the man. I know he was rapping a lot of like music and saying rap lyrics out loud. And it was pretty intimidating when he was standing next to me in line. I'm usually pretty solid about that energy bubble that I put around myself. So again, I didn't go into fear around it. Had he not offered to help me, I may have asked someone. I may have been more alert given my surroundings and what was going on, but he did offer. So there, amidst all of that, that was grace. That was grace. That was kindness. That was understanding without asking me any questions, without even asking me if I needed help. I am going to do this with it for you. That's grace. Wonderful. So everyone's doing their best in a world where nothing feels certain. Grace for the world. Grace can still be found and given on a global scale. Maybe it is, we do this every Tuesday evening where we have a Twin Hearts meditation where we imagine, I went over this in last week's show, we create this energy ball and in front of us, and it's the earth. And I learned this in Tai Chi Gong. I've learned it in many different disciplines you rub your hands even just for a few seconds, okay, and get that energy going. That's energy. That's heat that you're creating with your hands. And then you feel that tingle in your hands when you're done. You just hold your hands and you press your hands toward one another and you feel that. You feel the tingling. Okay, that's energy. And you bless the earth and you send peace and love and patience and understanding and grace to the world. So it can be through prayer and meditation, prayers for healing, becoming more compassionate towards causes that matter to you. It can mean choosing kindness, even when the world feels harsh. Imagine from a collective standpoint, if everyone just right here, right now on the planet, day and night, wherever they are in whatever time zone, said grace for the next 10 minutes. It's not even 24 hours, 10 minutes. If the entire 9 billion people on the planet said for the next 10 minutes, I am extending grace, shifts everything, changes everything. That's how powerful grace is. So let's try an exercise, how to cultivate more grace. Close your eyes and think of an area in your life that you would like to extend more grace to around. Is it your home? Is it your job? Is it your physical body? Is it a person? We'd like to wrap the situation or wrap the thing, Wrap the person in grace. Do that now. Wrap it in grace. Enfold it in grace. Give it love, understanding, forgiveness, kindness, without any expectation of anything in return. Now open your eyes. Ask yourself, how can I show up with more grace right now, here with me, in this moment? Is it through kindness? Is it through forgiveness? Is it simply by showing up? Is it simply by allowing space for the unknown, for the imperfection, for the uncertainty? Allow the space for uncertainty. Yes, yes. This is where we're going today. Allow the space, allow the uncertainty. Do not push against it. Row, row, row your boat down the stream of uncertainty. Because here's the only thing that is ever certain, despite what you might believe. You and your connection to God, Source, the universe. That is the only thing that you truly can ever be certain of. So while you're in that boat going down those rapids or a gentle stream, wherever you might be, with whatever is swirling around you, grace is space for you to connect to your own compassion, your own kindness, your own love, your own divinity. That's grace. Can you feel it? There's grace right here now between me and you. It's here. Grace is here. So let's do a 4 or 5 minute meditation. And we're going to focus on grace. I'm going to ask you to sit comfortably wherever you are, or lie down if you have the wherewithal, if you have the opportunity to do that and that feels better. Do whatever feels good. Could be in your car when you see this, whether you're with me live or most of this is played on replay. So for those of you joining on replay, you could be in your car, just sit quietly and comfortably. Turn your sounds off, turn your radio off, your music. And I want you to close your eyes. If you can, try to sit up as straight as you possibly can with your feet flat on the floor and your palms resting upward, if you can, on your thighs. Close your eyes and take a deep, easy, slow breath in. Through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. As you sit comfortably and as you breathe gently and soothingly, recognize that thoughts will pop in and pop out of your mind. It's okay. Just watch them like they're clouds floating on by, and they'll be there when you're done. It's only 5 minutes. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in now, imagine you're inhaling grace, that you're inhaling grace. And grace is filling your mind, your heart, your body. What color is it? Is it white? Is it golden? It's filling everywhere, loosening any knots. And as you exhale, you're letting go. You're letting go of those knots. You're letting go of any fears tied down inside of you. You're letting go of any anger, frustration, sadness. So breathe in grace and exhale any fear or tension you have. Any worry, just let it go. On the next breath, allow grace to extend outward. Outward to your family, to your coworkers, to your community, to the world. Extend it beyond you. Grace to fill every cell, every space, and allow grace to extend beyond you to all of those who you love, to those you know and work with, your friends, your neighbors, your community. Now extend grace to all those you don't know, all those who are hurting, all those who are suffering, all those who are living in their own fear or living in circumstances of great challenge and disturbance. Give them peace. Grant them peace. Feel a sense of peace washing over you and all. And as you're ready, slowly move your fingers and toes, knowing, opening your eyes, and knowing that grace is always available. It's always here for you, especially when things are most uncertain. Thank you. Thank you for being here at this milestone episode 50 of Living Well today, where we continue to explore presence in the here and now, appreciation, receivership, ownership, where we learn to commune with nature and reconnect with nature and allow nature to support us. I ask for easiness, as much as ease and grace as possible as this hurricane passes overhead over the next 48 hours, and keep everyone safe. Offer grace to Helene, the hurricane, that the hurricane softens its blow, washes away only that which is necessary for the highest and good of us all. May the world live with ease and grace. May you live a life filled with ease and grace. May you feel it every moment of every day from here forward. Until next episode, which is episode 51. It's hard to believe. Much love, ease, and grace for you. Bye, friends.